Hello everyone, and welcome to the social networks of Campus France in Paris. In the following minutes, we are going to explain you why you should study here, and we'll show you the opportunities that will be offered to you if you come to study in France. Just a few numbers before we start with the interviews. In France, there are 3,500 higher education establishments which allow you to study in many different fields. Today, we are going to talk about the Bachelor in Management at ESCP Europe. It's a unique program that allows you to study during 3 years in 3 different countries. To talk about this Bachelor, I have the pleasure to be with Vanessa Strauss-Khan, Academic Director for the Bachelor Paris Campus. Hi Vanessa, thank you very much for being with us today. And also, we have with us Sophie Rosenhoefer. That's correct?
Yes.
A second-year student of this Bachelor Management. Hi, Sophia.
Hi, thank you very much.
You are an international student. As we said, you are from Germany.
Yep.
And, well, when did you arrive in France?
Last September, I arrived in France, so it's my second year right now. And, yeah, I arrived last September.
Okay, so in the following minutes, we'll discover through your personal experience how is studying this Bachelor in Management at ESCP Europe. Actually, the objective of this live is presenting you in detail this Bachelor, what do we study here, how to apply, how is to study at ESCP Europe, and something really important in our days. What are the different job opportunities once you are done with the Bachelor? Besides, this is very important, don't hesitate in asking us during this Facebook Live so we can answer all your questions. And don't forget to go to escpeurope.com to get as many information as you like. Well, let's begin with the interview. First question for you, Vanessa. Could you please explain us what's exactly ESCP Europe?
So ESCP Europe is a business school. Actually it's the oldest business school in Europe and maybe in the world. It started in 1819, was founded by several persons, among which an economist called Jean-Baptiste Say. So it was a French school for many years, then became international, maybe now for 3 decades, a bit more than that. So it's a very important school in France, and it's becoming a very important school in the world. We have very good grading in several of our programs. For example, we are second worldwide for a master in specialized master in finance. We have the 5th position for the master in management. And also the executive MBA is very good with the 6th position in Europe. We also are triple accredited, so that means we have accreditation for 3 different type of companies. AACSB, which is an American company, EQUIS, which is European, and also IMBA, who is specifically focusing on MBAs.
Okay, well.
So it's very, and that's quite specific. There's only 1% of business school in the world that gets those 3 accreditations. So.
Well, that's quite impressive, but it will be even more after watching this trailer about the Bachelor in Management itself.
The main reason why I chose ESCP Europe is because I get to study in a different city every year. I get to choose from London, Madrid, Paris, Turin, or Berlin.
Experiencing 3 different cities in 3 years means you're stepping outside of your comfort zone, discovering new places, meeting new people, and learning to adapt to your surroundings.
I chose ESCP Europe because it has a strong reputation, being the first business school in the world, triple accredited and top ranked.
The professors at ESCP Europe are experts in their fields, perfectly balancing theory and practice, preparing me for the real world of business.
The best thing about the program are my classmates. They're from a range of backgrounds, and everyone is ambitious and hardworking with a drive to succeed.
I'm getting the knowledge and skills I need to be successful.
I like to know that when I graduate, I'll stand out from the crowd.
I can honestly say this is an incredible, life-changing experience.
So once again, 3 countries, 3 different languages, and 3 years of studies. What does all this mean?
Well, there are many ways to answer your question. What does that mean? It means many things, but at least, yeah, 333. At least what it means is that, well, to be more precise, our students, they will choose the track from the beginning. They can start the first year either in Paris or London. Then the second year is either in Paris, Torino, or Madrid. And then the last year will be either in Berlin or Paris. But each student cannot be in the same campus twice. Okay. What is the idea? The idea is twofold, I think. The first one is that students are in a European environment. They tend to already, like, there are students from all over the world, so it's very multicultural. But then by being in different campuses across Europe, they get to know different way of teaching somehow, and also different culture and different cities. So, you know, that is very enriching to them. Mm-hmm. And the second part is that for them it's enriching, but for the employers or the master's program that they may continue their study with, it's a very good sign of students that, you know, are young but are able to adapt, mm-hmm. Are very mature, because being able to change campus every year for 3 years says something, of course. Yeah. So I think, yeah, I think that's what it says.
So regarding the Bachelor in Management, what's the program?
In terms of the courses,
yep.
You mean? We are a very balanced program in the sense that we have it's management, so we have courses in management. That means they learn about finance, they learn about marketing, they learn about accounting, so all the topics of finance. But not only, we also have humanities. By humanities, we mean some courses that they would not necessarily get in usual business school, like introduction to psychology and sociology, or they get like international relation, you know, a bunch of courses like this. We also made the decision to have a program which is quite quantitative. The idea being that our students be able, after the bachelor, to actually reach master degrees in, for example, finance or big data, meaning like masters that requires the knowledge of math and statistics. Mm-hmm. So that's the third part. So our program is really a balanced program between quantitative courses, mathematics, statistics, you get some coding and so on, computer skills, management courses, and humanity courses, and languages. Because also, you know, they learn a lot about languages, the idea being that, you know, they'll be everything is in English, mm-hmm. I should say to start with. All the program is in English. But then they also have longer language courses that are the language of the campuses in which they will have the second and third year.
Mm-hmm. So, Sophia, how are these courses organized? Are there groups? I guess there are a lot of projects, but how does it work from inside?
Mm-hmm. So we are basically in small groups. So for lectures, we might also be a little bit bigger groups, which might be around 100 people, for example, as we had it in London. But then we go into seminars, or right now, as in Paris, we are only 40 people. And there we are really in smaller groups, which is really good because we kind of get to know each other a little bit more, and it's easier to learn a little bit or to contribute to the lessons. And I think this is kind of the basic organization of the courses. And as you said, like the main courses are in English, but right now in the second year, we also have some courses in French or in Spanish. Mm-hmm. And yeah.
And do you need to have, for instance, a strong background in maths?
No, I would not say so. I mean, it's helpful to have some kind of background knowledge in math, but since the professors really start from the beginning, like what we have to learn and everything, it's really all right. So you don't have to be a math geek or something to really get well in the courses or the exams. Mm-hmm.
Sophia, we also know that humanities are very important in this bachelor. What's your point of view as a student?
Yeah, as you already said, like we not only have like these management courses, which are of course really important because that's basically why we are here and what we are studying. But these humanity courses, I think they are at least as important as the management courses, because for being a kind of manager or a leader, you also have to sell yourself, or you have to do proper presentations, or you need to engage with other people. So that's really, really important, I would say. Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, just if you are joining us, I remind you that we are live with a Bachelor in Management of ESCP Europe, so feel free to ask any doubts or questions you may have, and our guests, I guess they will be happy to answer. Going back to you once again, Sophia, could you tell us which are your favorite courses?
My favorite courses, I would say, are from the first year, it's business administration, where we kind of had an overview. Each lesson we had another subject, like we went into finance and accounting and HR. And right now I would say it's basically accounting and finance.
And why do you like them?
I'm really interested in the finance and accounting, so I think that's why I really like it. And for business administration, it was just great to have like kind of an overview at the beginning of all the subjects and whether we are really right in that subject, like to study business. So that was great.
Do you already know in which field you would like to work in the future?
I am quite open to that. I basically know the industry where I want to go, but for the exact field, I'm kind of open. Like right now, I could basically imagine accounting and finance as the best thing, but I'm relatively open.
Vanessa, are the courses the same in the different campus or in the different countries? Or?
So they are almost the same. It's very important for us to ensure that actually the students get the same knowledge and have the same opportunity in all the campuses. So they get the same courses. I mean, they have to take the same courses. All the courses have the same syllabi, so they really get on the same, you know, they learn the same thing. The exams are the same. Now within the courses, sometimes they might differ a little bit, which we do believe makes sense because professors may have expertise more specific in one topic or another, or depending on the country, you may want to focus on one case or another particular case in class that makes more sense, you know, maybe in Berlin or in Paris and so on. So the content, the academic content, the knowledge are the same, the exams are the same, and the style might be slightly different.
So are there any differences between one campus and another?
Well, there are differences in the sense that
different countries?
Different countries. I'll say that's the main difference. The professors are different, of course, but at ESCP Europe Paris, we have many international professors, as they do in Madrid and in Torino. So it's not to say that all the professors in Paris are French and all the professors in London are British. It's not the case. Yeah. Now, the proportion might be bigger, but not so much. So I'll say the main difference is you evolving in an environment which is different. So maybe the administration works slightly differently, and then the whole surrounding of, you know, living there. I mean, that's what I believe will be the main difference.
Something really important, is it this bachelor recognized academically all around the world?
Yeah, of course. I mean, you know, otherwise that'll not be a very good outcome for our students. It's a bachelor in 3 years. We are part of the system of Bologna within Europe. So this is, you know, straightforward. They get a bachelor 3 years and then they could apply for a master degree. So that's one first way to go. We also have a visa français, so recognized by the French system. Now we also have partnerships with some universities. Some university, for example, in the US, that will not know as much as in Europe about ESCP, about ESCP Europe. So we actually build up partnerships with university in the US, university in Asia. We have a specific partnership with SMU, Singapore Management School, with University of Hong Kong, with University of Melbourne. And then we also have specific partnership with university in the UK, for example, Imperial College and LBS, London Business School. Not that our students will not be recognized otherwise, they are eligible anyway, but just because then the schools know more about what they learn, what they do, and they have some kind of prior knowledge of what our students are and what they learn.
Okay, let's move now to the second part of this live, the application process. Vanessa, what are the different steps to apply to this bachelor?
So first step is to go online, I'll think, and I mean, I think that's the only way. I'm sure online it works. I think maybe by mail you can do it as well, but you go online and apply. What is required from you will be transcripts Usually we are talking about students that are still in high school, so they won't have the transcript from the last month. And if you talk about French students or students that are in French school abroad, they will not have passed yet the baccalaureate, but that's okay, giving the transcript from the year before and the first semesters. We also ask for personal statement. That's quite important because we want to know the motivation of our students, who they are. Actually, that's a very important part. We look at the grades, of course, but who are the students and what they are, if they have special patience or focus or this is interesting to us. And also we will ask them to have a certain degree in English. Of course, the program is in English, so they have to be able to follow. So we'll ask for TOEFL or IELTS or Cambridge Advanced degree that they have to provide, but they don't have to provide it when they apply. They could provide it later on once they have been admitted and so on. So that's.
Is there a personal interview as well?
Yeah, then there is a personal interview. So that's the first step. There's some selection being made from the application, and if your application has been selected, then you will be called for an interview. The interview is about 30 minutes, 40 minutes discussion with a jury. There is two people usually in the interview. It takes place in one of the campuses or sometimes by Skype. So, for students that are very far away, you don't need to be in Paris or in London or in Madrid. And, the purpose of the interview, again, being that we test our students, but when we say test, the goal is not to make sure that they know everything about everything, because they are still young persons, but it's also to see if they have interest, what is their motivation, if they are mature enough to be part of our program, and also for them to ask questions and to see whether the fit will actually the match will
that's
work.
basically what you expect from the candidates: certain maturity, interest, and good grades.
And good grades, yeah.
Yeah.
Good students.
Good students.
Happy that I
it clear.
passed that.
How many students do you accept per year?
We are a very new program. I mean, now it's 4 years, so it's still growing. The first cohorts were small, about 50 students. Last year we had almost, 380 or something like that, and we hope to reach a bit more this year. So about 400, 500 students.
Okay, and which diploma is required to apply for the
You
bachelor?
have to have either French baccalaureate or some equivalent from the country you're from that will be recognized by the French system. So an equivalent to baccalaureate, end of high school.
That's good, yeah. Sophia, do you remember your application process? How was
Yes.
it?
It was good. Like as Vanessa just said, I basically did all the steps you just explained. So I first did the online application, then I had an interview, which was for me 3 people in around 30 minutes, where they asked something a little bit about my motivation. So I think the motivation letter is really important. And afterwards we had some small tests for mathematics and I think some kind of reading comprehension for English. But yeah, it was actually quite good, and what I really liked is that we also got the answer within like 1 or 2 weeks, so that's really good.
That was fast.
Yep.
Okay, so this question is for both of you. What kind of advice would you give to new candidates?
I suspect we'll have the same answer.
Yeah,
so
I think
maybe
so
I'll
too.
start. Be yourself. I think
Yeah.
there is no other ways than just being who you are. And if you are indeed interested, motivated, and you have some curiosity, because of course, if you have no curiosity in a program like this one, where we touch many different topics and where there is many culture, many different people from all over the world, you will not get as much as you could from the program. So
Sure.
if you are this type of person, just be yourself, and it's going to be
Do you agree?
Yes, I totally agree. Would have said the same.
Vanessa, do you expect any kind of previous professional background from the candidates?
We don't expect it because, again, our candidates are quite young.
Yeah.
So in
Summer
some
jobs.
countries, but that differs very much from country to country. In some countries, it's very natural to work and to have jobs experience even when you're 16 or 17. In some other countries, it's not that often. So of course, you know, if you have some job experience, it's good. You can share it with us, and we can discuss it during the interview. And you know, that's a plus, of course. But if you don't, that doesn't make you not be able to join the program. Of course, you know, even if we talk about the French students, for example, usually French do not work that much, but they have they don't have so much internship. But now they have those within high school. They get to be in a company for a couple of weeks. That's also somehow a job experience that opens the eyes on what will be the professional life. So, yeah.
And what about the personal statement you said before, the cover letters? What do you want to read in these letters?
You know, a personal letter is a way to say who you are. So as we said before, you know, the best way to get admitted in the program is to actually push, you know, your qualities and explain who you are. So that's what you should do in these statements. So explain why you would like to go to do such a program like a BSc, Bachelor in Management, why at ESCP, and why are you different from others, and why do you deserve it, and why will it be good for you? So that's, I think, what to expect.
Okay. Well, let's go now for the third part of this life. How's personally for you, Sophia, as a student, to be studying in a foreign country?
Since I moved out at the age of 18, it was at the beginning a little bit hard. But like, since I moved out at a young age, I really saw that I quickly have to adapt to the culture and that I have to kind of make friends. And I think like this program, it's not only great because of the courses and everything, but it's also great because you kind of step out of your comfort zone and you quickly see that you have to make friends or that you have to build up a second family because you're so far away from your family. So that was actually, it's a great experience.
Yeah, and that's the case. There is a big family here in the campus.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Good. Well, Vanessa, do you think that for the students, it's something important in the future, having this international experience?
Well, I think it's definitely the case. Like many of our students and many young people of today will end up working in institutions where they will have to meet with people from all over the world. So if they have done it from the very start, they are very at ease with meeting those people and understanding the difference in culture. And the difference in culture is business is something that matters, and we know that. And actually we have a class like in B2 in the year that Sophia is in, which is called intercultural skills. And it actually teaches you how to deal with doing business and many other things, but how to deal with doing business with people from different culture. So our students, they learn that from the very start. That makes a big difference, I think.
Sophia, I'm sure that you are working really hard, but do you still have some time to travel around the country?
Yes. Like, the courses are kind of like time consuming if you really want to go to great length and be really good. But still, like, ESCP not only teaches us that you have to be good in the theory, but that you should also do some kind of extracurricular activities. So yes, coming back to your question, yes, we have some time to travel around. For example, I just visited kind of my best friend in Madrid, for example, for a weekend trip. And I also joined the rowing team, and this weekend we just came back from a rowing competition in Toulouse. So we also have some free time to travel a little bit or see a little bit more of the country.
So when you applied to ESCP Europe, how important was for you this extracurricular life?
Before ESCP, to be honest, I basically concentrated on being good at school. So I didn't pay that much attention, apart from always doing sports, I didn't pay that much attention to extracurricular activities. But since I joined ESCP, it completely changed, because now I really see how much it brings you to be part of different clubs or different societies.
Well, we've already seen different aspects of this bachelor, but why did you choose this one in particular and not other?
I think the most important thing at the beginning was the 3 countries, because I really wanted to kind of expand my horizon and wanted to see or experience different cultures. And I think for that, ESCP is kind of a unique program, because in that range, there are not, I think not at all, business schools that offer 3 countries within 3 years. So that was the main part at the beginning.
How important do you think, Vanessa, is this factor for the students?
No, I think it is, and when we actually interview the students, there are two main elements that come out. The first one is this one, like 3 years, 3 countries, and I completely agree. I mean, other programs will offer some exchange program with students going for a semester or sometime a year, but we are very specific in having those very like 3 years, three different campuses, 3 different countries. And the other element is that comes out from our students is the mix of management and liberal arts courses, because for many students, jumping into business with only business courses might be a little bit too restrictive, while here they see that they still have the opportunity to follow up the studies in law, or maybe actually we have students that actually now are in masters in political science, you know, so that there are many other possibilities, and I think that's also a big advantage.
Okay, let's go now for the last part of this life, the work part. Vanessa, does a student have some mandatory internship during this bachelor?
So that's, I'm happy you're asking the question, because I thought, you know, I really want to tell people about this part of the program as well, which is that there is, it's important. It's also a program that gets you into business right away, in the sense that, well, first, within the courses, you have lots of real life examples and things like this. But then also, you will be, you'll have several opportunities to get in real life and real businesses. There are internships. So there are mandatory internships in year 2 and year 3. So you're supposed to do altogether 24 weeks of internship. So there are internships, but there are also what we call collective projects. There are collective projects in the first year and the second year. In the first year, students are supposed to build up some project by groups. There is lots of group work, so that's by group. And this project, I'm mentioning it in a, you know, you're talking about internship, but I'm mentioning it now because it's kind of a startup story, because you have to build up, you know, kind of entrepreneurship. Sure. You have to build up your own project that could go from building a site for raising funds for some gender inequality issues to creating an event, art event at school, or, you know, it could be anything like this. And in the second year, our students, at least on the Paris campus, other campus might differ a little bit, but all students have what we call the collective project year 2, and there they are matched by group again with a startup. In Paris, the startup is called School Lab. So School Lab is an incubator, and they match the startups with our students, and for several months they are in connection, and our students help the startup, you know, developing, and again, so they put their feet like directly into work. So,
but I guess it's possible to continue studying after this bachelor.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, two ways when you're finished. Either you go work directly, or indeed continuing studying with a master degree somewhere. And actually, our first cohort graduated this year, so we have the first outcomes. And we were expecting most of our students to go for further studies. And actually we were quite surprised, because it's only maybe a third, and 2/3 of the students decided to first go for work, work several years, and maybe continue afterwards, which is more like the Anglo-Saxon way to apprehend education. And and it works pretty.
And what are the links between ESCP and the real business world?
What do you mean between the?
Once you're done with the bachelor, there is a direct link with the business world where you can continue working, or where you can start working actually.
Well, there is, in the sense that first, like the students, they had those internships. So sometimes, you know, they were at ESCP, they have their internship, and actually it did happen that the students continue by finding a job, long-term jobs in the company they had the internship with. So that's one link. The other link is actually some of the students that actually started their own company, although being very young, but because they started to build up the ideas while being at school, and they continued, you know, following up what they were doing.
Okay, so one more question, Vanessa. Let's say that I'm from Korea or Lebanon. Will I have to do something in particular during the application process?
No, I don't think we make difference depending on where you're from. We actually have already quite some students from Lebanon, and fewer from South Korea, but some. And I think the process is the same. We are welcoming people from all over the world. Actually, that's definitely one of our big advantage, big plus to have people from all over the world. So no, I think, you know, any students will go through the application process and explain. And yeah.
Okay. You said before that most of the students continue studying afterwards. But what about if I want to study anymore? I want to continue after there is 3 years bachelor. What kind of job can I get?
Okay, most of them actually choose jobs and few of them studying. When they choose jobs, we have students that actually got jobs at, for example, Accenture or in Dublin or Amazon in Berlin or Deloitte. So what kind of job? It will be sometimes related to sales managers, that's some of them. Some others will work on more financial consulting or financial analyst. Some of them are on specific project, development of project and things like this. So that's for the people that actually went for jobs, and for the people that went for masters. So again, maybe a third of the last promotion. We have students that got a master degree at Columbia University in New York City in sport and management, and we have students at LSE, London School of Economics, one in finance, another one in a master of political science. We have students at Bocconi in Italy. We have some students that actually decided to continue their study at ESCP, okay. So not in the management master, because they already have a bunch of knowledge from management from the bachelor degree, but in specialized masters. So we have 3 of them. One of them choose big data, specialized master in big data. Another one choose marketing and sale, and another one marketing and digital something. Yeah, so pretty good outcomes. So another student in Cambridge in an MPhil. So MPhil is a preparation for a PhD. So you know, all the paths were quite successful.
So through this Facebook Live, we have a question from Benjamin. He wants to make sure if after this Bachelor in Management, you can join prestigious universities for an MBA.
Alors, MBA, not directly after a bachelor degree, because usually MBAs is something that you do after having some years of experience in the firm. So what the students will do usually is like having a BA and then work like maybe 3, 4, 5 years, and then they will apply for MBA. We don't have the experience of that yet because our students are too young.
Maybe in the future.
Maybe in the future. I'm pretty sure, according to what we see in the results in terms of application and success of the master degree that the students that obtain, I'm pretty sure that they will have no difficulties to get into a master MBA in a few years.
Okay, well, we are almost at the end of this live. It goes quick, huh? But I still have 3 more questions. Sophia, why would you recommend this Bachelor to a friend?
Because it's just a really unique program. So to sum it up, it's not just the courses which are the courses are not only like management related, like finance, business, everything, but it's also like the humanities, as you said, which is really important for being in the business environment. So this is the first part, like the studies, which are really great. And the second part is, as I said, because you get to know like different cultures, you get to know like different languages, maybe also different curiosities relating to different cultures. And you step out of the comfort zone and get to know like different people and building up a second family and different contacts.
And Vanessa, why do you think this is so important to do this Bachelor in Management? What does it bring to the student?
Well, you know, I think I might rephrase what Sophia said, but yes, I think, you know, I think we have a very strong academic content. I mean, what they get in the courses, our professors are good. They are the same professors as the one that teach in executive MBAs at ESCP or master degrees. So you know, they have experience in teaching students, and the content are quite, I think, important. So that's one part. The multicultural aspect of it is very important. The languages and so on. And as I said at the beginning, I think one important element that it give the students and that can show, you know, that can be shown like after on the CV and everywhere, is the ability to move around and adapt to new culture and new environment. And I think that's very strong in the profile.
And something very important for some people as well, are there any scholarships available?
So there are scholarships. There is a committee. So if you apply to ESCP and after being admitted, you can apply for a scholarship. There is a committee that actually look over all the applications, and it depends. It will be dependent on merits. So you need to show that you are a good student, that you will be working hard during the whole process, and of course on the financial needs of the families and the parents. So scholarship could be of 25% of the tuition, 50% of the tuition.
Okay, well, thank you very much to both for being with us today. Vanessa Strauss-Khan, Academic Director for Bachelor Paris Campus, and Sophie Rosenhoefer, second-year student of this Bachelor in Management. And of course, thank you for watching. And remember, if you have any questions, don't hesitate in getting in touch with ESCP Europe. They'll be more than happy to help you. The website, escpeurope.com, where you'll be able to find a preview application form as well. So thank you for being with us today, and see you soon for another live.
Thank you.
Thank you.